most particularly talked about reports, how to write a report, and today we're going to talk about articles, how to write a correct article. As kind of really important that articles, reports, and reviews are formal pieces of writing. So, what do I mean by formal style of writing? Any ideas? You can write in the chat box or answer as well. I say it's a formal task. So, how do I write a formal task? What language do I use? I want to avoid.
Your voice is not clear.
The voice is not clear.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Voice is very low.
Okay. So is it okay now?
Yeah, it's very good.
So let's continue. Okay. So articles are pieces of writing for publication. So we write an article to be published. Maybe it's published in a variety of forms. Maybe it's published in a magazine, in a school magazine, in a newspaper. And articles cover a wide range of possible subjects, possible topics, any related topics related to society, to education, to medicine, whatever the article that we're reading. They may be intended for general public. You might write it in a magazine for general public or a specific group of readers. For example, an article in your college newspaper for fellow students. This is for a specific group readers. So there are some points to consider when you write an article. An article usually has a brief title, and this should attract the reader's attention. So the title is really important, and I will do a class later on about titles, how to write a title, because it's really important. A correct title, because some students do not know how to write a correct title for the article. So you need a brief title, and this should attract the reader's attention and indicate what the article is about. Articles may also have articles, but actually we don't use subheadings for articles, we use it for the reports. So it's for reports because some kind of reports or news reports are considered, let's say news reports are considered as kind of articles. But articles, we don't have the subheadings, we use only title and 4 paragraphs. I just need from you 4 paragraphs, introduction, 2 main body paragraphs, and a conclusion. Depending on the topic, the article, and the type of publication of its readership, you may need to use the formal impersonal language or informal language. So we do not use informal language, actually, we use the formal and impersonal language. So what do I mean by formal language? Formal language, so we use passive voice, we use complex sentences, compound complex sentences, compound complex linking words, and complex linking words. We do not use simple language or short forms, idioms, figurative language, and stuff like that. So articles may be written for a wider variety of purposes and can be a descriptive article, a narrative, a discursive. So we might write in different purposes. You might describe something, you might just tell what happened, narrate it. You might argue for and against, some people for this topic and some people against. You might talk about the advantages and disadvantages. So it's not only advantages and disadvantages. We might write people who are for and people who are against. We might just tell a story or what happened, okay, in an article. We might describe a place or describe a person or say how it looks. Okay. So articles
How are you,
Also,
Mr.?
you can write, Kumail, what you want to, because I can't hear you. So let me show you an example of an article. So here, I'm good, Yakume. Thank you. I hope you're good as well. Okay, let's continue. Are children influenced by what is shown? I'm going to show you this type of this model. Are children influenced by what is shown on television? This is a topic. What can be done to prevent television programs having negative influence on children? Write an article covering these points to be published in a magazine for young adults. You can use these linking words, okay, like, but also furthermore, however, in addition, in conclusion, in fact, not only, on the one hand, on the other hand, therefore, thus. You can use these words in these spaces. So this is an article, and let's see how it's written. Actually, this is a long one. I just want you to write 4 paragraphs. You don't need to write 6 like this one. Okay. So let's see. The title here is TV violence. Television has become an important part. Hello, Munzir. Munzir, we're talking about writing articles, okay, and how to write an article. So this is an example. So TV violence. Television has become an important part of everyday life, and the children today spend hours watching a variety of programs. These facts have led people to question whether television viewing adversely influences children, and as if so, to wonder what may be done to prevent such negative influence. So this is my introduction. In this introduction, I just introduced my topic. I might talk about some background information related to the topic, and you need a rhetorical question. And you need a rhetorical question, and you might start with a rhetorical question, but you need a thesis statement. At the end of your introduction, you need a thesis statement. So what is the thesis statement here? The thesis statement is the sentence that you will cover in details or talk about in details in the main body paragraphs. So these facts have led people to question whether television viewing adversely influences children. So I will talk about this in one paragraph, and if it negatively influenced them, what may be done to prevent such a negative influence? So these are the 2 points that I'm going to talk about in the main body paragraph. So main body paragraph 1, supporters of television, such as representatives of TV channels. So he will talk now from the point of view of supporters, those people who support television, such as representatives of TV channels, claim that there is no need for concern. They say no problem for watching TV for kids or for children. To support their opinion, I want you to learn how it's written, how the style of writing, how the language is built, how the paragraphs are built. So it starts each paragraph with a topic sentence. And after this topic sentence, you support it with detail, you give examples. You don't write one long line or sentence and you call it a paragraph. A paragraph is not one long sentence. Okay, a paragraph should be consisted of topic sentence, details, examples in the details, other details, examples, and a concluding sentence. To call this a paragraph. So indicate that the children are not indiscriminate viewers. They say that children are not indiscriminate viewers. They can they can distinguish, they can say, know what's real and what's fake. So children are not that, indiscriminate. They maintain that the children tend to choose programs that pass on positive messages. They say that, when you have a debate, this is like a debate. So you say the opinion of those people. They say, no, children may have to choose some positive topics or positive messages, that they are able to distinguish between reality and fiction. So, and are therefore not negatively affected by what they watch. So here he focuses mainly on, let's see what they watch. If it's a positive thing, so it's useful. So here I'm talking about an article with this title for those who came late. And we might fill the spaces with these words, but also furthermore, however, in addition, in conclusion, in fact, not only, on the other hand, therefore, and thus. So this is the first paragraph, people who are for or supporting TV. Now, on the other hand, research has been conducted that contradicts the above findings. When they made research, it contradicts or it's against this. So it proves that there is negative influence, and he will show it now. So look, he talked about the positives, then the negatives, and here in these two paragraphs, how to avoid the negative points. Let's see. This second body of research indicates that the increased depiction of atrocious violence and immorality in television programs has indeed affected today's youth and is directly related to the increase in juvenile, directly related to increase in juvenile crime and the breakdown of moral values in the society. The experts responsible for this research have suggested steps that might be taken to solve this problem. So look, he's now gonna talk about the steps. What are the steps? One way to prevent television's negative influence would be for the government to censor the content. So if there is censorship, you know the meaning of censorship, or to censor, to watch the content of certain violent and immoral programs. Types of broadcasts that are felt to exert negative influence could be shown only late at night when children are not likely to be watching. In this way, the degree to which children might be exposed to negative would be limited. This is one suggestion. What else? Another suggestion, you can say here, moreover or furthermore. Look, you can use the language here. In addition. So, in addition, parents could monitor their children watch and take on the responsibility of changing channels or switching off the television set when they feel the program being viewed may be harmful, ensuring their children are not exposed to negative influence. So this is another solution. So look how articles are built. In the article, firstly, as I said, you need to be formal and you need to address the topic from different angles. Think of many related points that you can, and you stick to the question. You read the question and see what the question wants from you and what the points you need to cover. If it's clear so far, please write yes in the chat box. Okay, so let's move on to the conclusion. Usually we start the conclusion with in conclusion. So in conclusion, to sum up, all in all, maybe said that it is not yet possible to certain or what extent negatively influence children yeah, we know that there is a negative impact, but to what extent that negative impact reached in the children, we don't know. So here in the conclusion, usually the students ask me, teacher, can I write my opinion in the article? I say yes, you can write it in the introduction and in the conclusion. And especially in the conclusion, you need to mention your opinion. So here he will mention his opinion or his suggestion. So if the possibility does exist, it might be wise to take precautionary measures, such as those mentioned above. After all, as often said, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. So it's better to take care and make our precautions. So this is an example of an article. I've shared already with you an article. Let me show you the file I've shared with you. Okay, it has many articles as well. So we can go through the file quickly. This is an example as well. It talks about online shopping. So let's read this example. Online shopping, this is the title. Online shopping is the process of buying goods or services over the internet. So he given in the introduction some background information about what is the topic, what is online shopping. It has become increasingly popular in recent years as it offers a number of advantages over traditional brick and mortar shopping. So here he's going to talk about the advantages of online shopping over the normal type of shopping that you go physically and buy. One of the biggest advantages of online shopping is its convenience. So shoppers can browse and purchase products from the comfort of their own homes at any time of the day or night. They do not have to worry. Have you noticed that I didn't use short forms? I write complete forms. Like they do not. They do not have to worry about traffic, parking, or long checkout lines. Additionally, online shoppers often have access to a wider selection of products that they would find in physical store. Of course, there are also some potential disadvantages. So here he talked about the advantages, here disadvantages. And as I said before, not all articles advantages and disadvantages. Maybe some people for and some people against. Maybe you need to find some solutions to these negatives or problems, some suggestions. So one disadvantage is that shoppers cannot see or try on the products before they buy them. Then this can lead to disappointment if the product is not expected, is not as expected. Additionally, there's always the risk of fraud when shopping online. In conclusion, the advantages of online shopping generally outweigh the disadvantages. Online shopping is a convenient and affordable way to buy a wide variety of products by following these steps. And you can enjoy the many benefits of online shopping safely and securely. So that was an example of an article, and this is how the article comes in the question. So let's have a look at this question. Teenagers often copy the appearance and behavior of famous people. There are two comments of students about the topic. By the way, these two comments help you to get an idea or to know what to talk about. One of the students says, my favorite star is a great actor. I really want to be like him. And other people say, sometimes famous people do bad things to make us notice them. They shouldn't do that. So you have two opposing ideas. Some people for, or some students for, or copying famous people. And some people are against that because famous people are normal people, and sometimes they on purpose do something bad just to get attention and to have reach or to have fame, you know. So he's against that. So this is an example of how an article is the question is in the exam. Write an article for your school magazine giving your views. So you will discuss both views, those who are for and those who are against, and you need to mention your opinion also in the conclusion and in the introduction. Your article should be between 150 to 200 words. Nowadays, it's less. It's less than 150 to 200. It's about 120 to 160 words only. Clear? So there are some useful expressions that may help you when you write an article. So if you want to add more points to the same topic, you can use the linking words and phrases here. Like for example, in addition to this, furthermore, moreover, besides, apart from, what's more, as well as, not to mention the fact that, also, not only, but also as well, there is another side of the issue question or the argument of. So choose 2 or 3, or let's say 4 linking words if you want to add information and memorize them. So when you write, you can use these words, will help you a lot. If you want to make a contrasting point, or you talked about a point and you want to shift it to the other side, the opposing point of view, or the opposing people who are against, or another idea, you can say, on the other hand, you can say, however, still, yet, but nonetheless, nevertheless, comma, it may be said or argued or claimed that, and you say what's claimed or what's argued. Others or many people oppose this viewpoint or strongly disagree with it, or claim or feel or believe that this argument is incorrect or misguided. You can use these words as well, although, though, even though, while, whilst, whereas, despite, in spite of, regardless. Opponents of this topic might argue that, and many linking words that you can use. So it's up to you, choose whatever you want. You're writing, I usually say in writing, you are the maestro. You are the one who decides what to use and what to avoid using. So it depends on your level of writing. It depends on your words, linking words, vocabulary, grammar, structure. So you are the maestro. You are the one who decides how your piece of writing will look like. So as I said before, you should have your weapons before you go to the exam, the writing exam. What are my weapons? You cannot go to a battle without weapons, or you're gonna lose. Your weapons? These words, linking words, high-level vocab, different structure. You can vary your structure. You know how to vary your level or sentences. The outline, of course, how to start and how to end. So you need to know all these things. So that was my lesson for today. I just wanted to talk about article writing. I wish if you have any questions, you can ask me or write in the chat box, please.